A note to listeners. English is not the native language of today's guest. She has made much effort so you can understand her. If you have difficulty, please don't miss what she has to say. Instead, go to her page at Women Mind the Water Artivist Series podcast and follow along with the transcript. Today on the Women Mind the Water Artivist Series podcast on womenmindthewater.com, I'm speaking with Patrizia Zelano. Patrizia is a photographer who lives in Italy near the Adriatic Sea. On this podcast, we will focus on her series, Acqua Alta a Venezia, High Water in Venice. It's a series inspired by the 2019 flood that caused great damage in Venice. Patrizia's photos of waterlogged books is a reminder that beautiful things can arise from adversity. Patrizia Zelano is the latest guest on the Women Mind the Water Artivist Series podcast on womenmindthewater.com. The podcast engages artists in conversation about their work and explores their connection with the water. Through their stories, Women Mind the Water hopes to inspire and encourage action to protect water and all the creatures that depend on it. I am most pleased to welcome Patrizia Zelano to the Women Mind the Water Artivist Series podcast. Patrizia is an acclaimed Italian photographer. Her work invites viewers to look beyond the immediacy of the image. Her photographic series of books transformed by the 2019 flood of Venice depicts both destruction and transformation. Welcome, Patrizia. I guess I say ciao. While your work focuses on more than water, natural light is a unifying feature in your photographs. I'm grateful that you joined me on the Women Mind the Water Artivist Series podcast to tell us something about yourself, Italy, and your work. While your work extends beyond the Acqua Alta a Venezia, High Water in Venice series, I hope that you don't mind if we focus on that work as it speaks volumes about your photographic eye, as well as water and climate change. Let's begin by talking about Italy. I don't know how many of our listeners have visited Italy, so I think it would be good if we began by having you tell us something about Italy. What fascinated you growing up in northern Italy near Lake Garda?
Italians are often called a people of navigators, perhaps because the sea living without us, teaching us movement, nostalgia, and the return, the endless search for horizon. Italy lives through the sea, a place where light meets water, and beauty with art, architecture become an endless journey.
Were you always focused on the detail of things, or did that come when you took up photography?
My attention to the detail has grown up with me. Photography came into my life like a sudden revelation. Photography gives me the freedom to explore the themes that truly move me and my own rhythm. It's a young form of art, but its meanings are much deeper and more intellectual than people often think.
I was surprised to discover that Venice is actually not a single place, but a group of 118 islands lying in the bay of the Adriatic Sea. Water must be a constant thread to everything in Venice. How did you decide which books to take?
The choice was not rational. I just saved what I could. Every book, no matter what it's about, felt important to me. I don't make any distinction. Each one carried its own wisdom. I choose to focus on books because they hold memory, knowledge, faiths, and ideals. Our culture is built on what is written in them. The books is in itself a powerful symbol. During the flood, those wet and distort the books became a living image of our fragility of both environmental and cultural collapse. In my studio, under natural light, the books turned into sculptural objects. They reminded me of still life paintings from the 17th and 19th century, and also of some contemporary artists. They were not longer damaged things, but relics full of meaning. I could feel their tragic beauty, their power to evoke. Each wrinkled page looked like a relic, like an inner landscape. Through them, I created a kind of journey through art history, from ancient times to the contemporary world. The books were indeed very delicate because of the water damage, and they tore easily. That fragility definitely caused some challenges, but it's also made the process of saving and transforming them into photographs even more meaningful. And actually, with all those damaged cover spines in pages that I heard stored in trunk.
They were indeed beautiful. I was struck by the lighting and this sculptural elegance of what most people would just throw out. So thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, good thing.
So Italy is surrounded on three sides by water. Like Venice, Italy faces many challenges related to tides, storms, and plastic pollution. In your series, Plastica Animistica, it appears life has been breathed into plastic material. How is this series meant to engage us in a conversation about the changing world?
Yes, absolutely. Both series are born from the same awareness that everything is in transformation in nature and within ourselves. In Night Water, I witnessed the power of water overwhelming memory and beauty. In Plastic Animistic, I face another kind of turbulence, the wind and the fragile lightness of plastic, a material that belongs to our contemporary condition. Through this ephemeral installation, I try to transform what disturbed me into something contemplative, almost sacred. Both projects open a conversation about change, about how the stability of the world is also reshaping the way we see, feel, and understand reality. I want to make it clear that Plastic Animistica is not a praise of plastic. It is rather an attempt to transcend an element I don't love, the wind, through a symbolic and poetic act. The ephemeral installation I created with the light plastic become a ritual gesture of dialogue with nature, which is constant in my work. Through art, I try to transform what is uncomfortable or unsettling into something that can become at least acceptable, even beautiful for a moment.
Patrizia, as we approach the end of the podcast, I thought you might offer advice on how to create an impactful photograph. If someone wanted to use their cell phone to make a statement about the environment, how do you suggest they go about creating an image?
The power of a photograph does lie in a technique, but in the gaze. Even with the phone, if you look with awareness, you can create an image that transforms. We don't need to take beautiful photographs. We need to take meaningful ones. It is the act of seeing, not to device that reveals a good shot.
Well, thank you, Patrizia, for being on the Women Mind the Water podcast. I'm really grateful that you're here in spite of your accident and the time that you took because you felt your English was not very good to write the answers and read them for us. I will post a transcript so people can read if they have any questions. It has really been a pleasure to talk with you. I urge everyone to view the video version of this podcast to see a few of your photographs. You will be amazed how something that people might otherwise discard has actually become a thing of beauty and makes you think about antiquity and change, and maybe hopefully influence you in the way that you see disasters or what might be viewed as a disaster. I will post the address of Patricia's site on womenmindthewater.com so you can investigate Patrizia and her work more closely.
Pam, thank you for the invitation and for this thoughtful conversation. I hope inspired reflection and awareness, and maybe also a trip to Italy. Bye. Thank you.
I'd like to remind listeners that I've been speaking with Patrizia Zelano, an Italian photographer. Her series of photographs and waterlogged books goes beyond a portrait of damaged goods and is an engaging reminder that grace can rise from adversity. Patrizia is the latest guest on the Women Mind the Water Artivist Series podcast. The series can be viewed on womenmindthewater.com and on YouTube. A transcript is available on womenmindthewater.com, and an audio-only version can be viewed or listened to on iTunes and Spotify. Women Mind the Water is grateful to Jane Rice for the use of her song, Women of Water. All rights for the Women Mind the Water name and logo belong to Pam Ferris Olson. This is Pam Ferris Olson.